Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is gonna be the best game of 2025. I'm sure of it, and in this video we will discuss why. And the first aspect that we're gonna discuss is the brilliance of the first game, because the sequel is gonna literally inherit it. Well, because it is a sequel. First and foremost, the first Kingdom Come Deliverance is the first game that comes to my mind, since Skyrim, that gives the player the ultimate freedom. Meaning that as fast as the tutorial is completed, you are free to go and do whatever you want. Do quests, level up your skills, gamble, loot, steal, procreate, do whatever you want. Literally the first game on my mind since Skyrim that does that. The game absolutely does not force you to do the main quests. That's great and hella immersive. Like for example, Dragon Age the Veilguard, where all the exploration is locked behind the story progression. For more detailed critique, you can watch my objective Veilguard critique video. Now, the second thing that we're going to discuss is the brilliance of the creativity of the game developers. What I mean is that the game is trying to be as realistic as possible, and the actual realism in games is very often boring. But you can't say that Kingdom Come Deliverance is a boring game, and that's where the creativity comes into play. The game puts us in very interesting and sometimes absurd situations. For example, a quest in the first game where you lockpick the ass of a horse. Yes, you heard me right. You have to lockpick the ass of a horse. I mean, how do you even come up with this? I don't know. But the point that I'm trying to make is that despite the game making strong emphasis on realism, it is hella fun and it doesn't forget to entertain you. And since I have mentioned realism, I just wanna add really quick that I like the jiggling physique in the game. I mean how the armor jiggles when you walk and it makes noises. And that's realistic. What did you think about? The third aspect of the game that makes it great is that it is a true RPG. And even though the first Kingdom Come game has only one ending, often the game provides different paths to complete a quest. It is like a forgotten art these days. Your playthrough of the game may be quite different than mine, and I'm not just talking about your choices in dialogues, but completely different ways to complete a quest, where you would talk to different people and would do different activities. The fourth aspect of the game that we're gonna discuss is that there probably won't be any issues with the technical condition of the game. Yes, there might be some bugs. Even the most polished games have bugs, like for example The Last of Us Part 2. But overall there is no doubt that the game is finished. We won't have any surprises as we did with for example Stalker 2. Yes, I love Stalker 2, but there is no denial that it was released in a poor technical condition, and I wish the game would be delayed for 3 more months. But with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 there won't be any surprises, because for example, a huge green flag is that Warhorse Studio is very generous when it comes to giving pre-release copies to journalists and YouTubers in general. And it is not just 2 hours of gameplay, but many reviewers have played the game for 20 or 30 hours. That shows that the devs have nothing to hide. They're confident in their product and they have cooked a great game. Now, before we move on, let me self-promote really quick. I make videos on a broad variety of video game topics, like for example a video why Skyrim is still popular, or a video on everything we know so far about The Witcher 4, and many more. So subscribe to the channel to be better informed, and leave a like if you like this video. Let's move on. Now, one more thing that I'm gonna praise about the game, and then I will criticize the game a little, and we will say what needs to be improved for the game to be better. So, the fifth aspect that makes the game great, and is the most important thing, is that the game is made with love. Yes, you may think, what the hell are you talking about? But let me explain. First, Warhorse Studio is a new studio that was formed in 2011 by a small team of enthusiasts. It started with 11 people. Later they opened a Kickstarter crowdfunding, and in 2018 the first Kingdom Come game was released. And it is safe to say that it was a success. And Kingdom Come 2 is gonna be an even bigger success. Now it's 250 people working on Kingdom Come 2. So the first Kingdom Come, as well as the second, was made in love and passion. Passion to share the history of their land, the views and the ideas. And when you're passionate about the work you do, it is when ideas and ambitions are born. The product of passion and work always exceeds in quality. That's why companies with relatively small budgets can create cool games. I personally see a shift, a renaissance in the gaming industry, that big studios that deliver shitty games take L's after L's, and relatively new and smaller studios step up and are taking over the industry. Such studios like Warhorse with Kingdom Come, GSC with Stalker 2, Larian Studio with Baldur's Gate 3, Round 8 with Lies of P, and the list goes on. I can name more of those. Nowadays, our favorite games don't come from studios like Ubisoft or Bethesda that had passion in past but lost it a long time ago. Hell, even Sony is the same. Did you notice the shift in the perception of Sony? Up to 2019, Sony was viewed as the savior of the industry. And now, a couple of months ago, when there were rumors that Sony might buy From Software, the gamers were terrified of this perspective. If you want to see more on this topic, you can watch this video on why Stalker 2 is important for the gaming industry. And this video, corporations are killing games. Now let's move on. Now a little of healthy criticism. So, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. 3 random words and 1 number. But what needs to be improved in the sequel for the game to be better? The main thing is combat. Even though it is quite interesting in theory, in practice the combat of the original Kingdom Come was kinda boring. It was not very much dependent on player skill, but rather on the character's stats, which is kinda frustrating for the player. You might have defeated Consort Rodan solo on level 1 on a dance pad, but that peasant over there is too powerful for you. In majority of games, even when your character is underleveled, you can compensate it with your personal skills, but not in this game. By the way, in this regard, Kingdom Come is similar to Ghost of Tsushima. To a lesser extent, yes, but nevertheless. In Tsushima, eventually your character's skill catches up, and then the combat is more skill-based. It never happens in the original Kingdom Come. You either are way weaker than your opponents, and there is almost nothing you can do, or you are way stronger and you are easily overpowering your opponents. It reminds me a little of the game Alex. Again, to a lesser extent, in Alex it was much more extreme. But because of that, in the original Kingdom Come, it is also pretty hard to make any combos. The enemy just either blocks and counterattacks, or it dies so damn quick that you don't have the time to perform anything. Now again, there is little fun in either being a weakling and in being overpowered as well. Well, since I am not a big enough channel, I didn't get a pre-release copy to test if there will be any improvements in that regard. You can help with that, by the way, by subscribing to the channel. Now, looking at the trailers and the streams of the devs, we can see that the battles have become a lot more dynamic, which is cool, because in the first KCD a lot of our strikes were like magnetized to the enemy's blocks, and it didn't feel like a real fight. It felt more like medieval reenactments. It didn't feel like you would strike with the intent to kill, partially because of that magnetic strikes that I've talked about, and partially because of the animation impact. Nevertheless, in KCD 2, the animation impact is much better and I didn't see any magnetic strikes. The battles are much more dynamic, and it is a good sign that the battles will be more dependent on your personal skills. Why? Because in KCD 1, you would change the trajectory of your strikes, so the opponents wouldn't be able to block. That's what the game teaches you, but they would block it anyway. The strikes would just magnetize to the opponent's sword. Now it seems that it is no longer the case, or at least it is less common. Now, and the last thing that we're gonna discuss, and it remained untouched in KCD 2, and it's a very lame thing. I'm talking of course about the saving potions. And yes, I understand that it is made so that gamers won't save scum with the game. But there are better ways how to make gamers live with the consequences of their choices. For example, to make so that the consequences of your actions and choices won't be immediate. For example, in The Witcher 3, the decision whether to let the spirit free and save the children or kill it. So, the aftermath of your decision is, and it is a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, then off the sound till the spoiler signs won't disappear. So, the aftermath is that if you don't kill the spirit, you can save the children, and if you don't, Baron's wife will die, and Baron hangs himself because he couldn't bear the grief. Well, the thing is that the aftermath of your decision doesn't manifest immediately, but in some cases in hours. And the gamers are not willing to replay that much, so they are forced to live with the consequences. And in the end, it is not like this system of saving potions actually works. It is more like an inconvenience. I acquired lots of money in the game pretty fast, and at the end of the game I had so much money that probably nor Sir Radzig nor Sir Hanush have ever seen in their lives. Well, maybe Capone have seen, since he has...
Haven't Sie Frauen Groschen? That much?
Well, anyway, I would just buy a lot of potions and run around with 30 saving potions all the time. So again, it is just an obnoxious mechanic. It doesn't stop the save scamming. And how can you not save scam if, for example, some mechanics are luck-based? For example, pickpocketing, which is a cool minigame, but you still can get caught if you're unlucky. And why would the gamer accept the punishment when it is not his fault? It doesn't make sense. And another example, stealth knockout and stealth kill. They are also chance-based. And again, why would the player accept the outcome and not save scam when the player did everything right? Now, in the end, despite my criticism, I'm sure that the game is gonna be really good. I have no doubts, and I'm glad that KCD2 is getting the media attention and the hype that they deserve. Now, that's it for today. I've self-promoted enough in this video, I don't wanna be obnoxious about it. But just in case maybe you forgot to subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, check out, maybe you'll find other videos that will interest you. See you later.
Do not come. Do not come.